All right, everybody. Welcome, welcome. This is my first live here, and yep. and we're going to be working on my self-portrait here that I've been working on now for a little while. So I'm excited about this. Super dope. I'm having fun using Procreate and all the digital tools. This feels like a wonderful Photoshop that I've been working on here. So really excited about where it's going. So just a quick kind of check-in on what's happening here. I'm doing this portrait, self-portrait of myself here. I'm holding my vaccination card, and I'm wearing all sorts of stuff. I'm holding my hand in a special way. We get the moon in the sky, and then this crazy background. So I'll run back the time lapse here, and you can see that this piece is something that I'm doing in response to the Metropolitan Gala, that they have this theme, and people show up dressed in all this crazy ways. So we saw all sorts of stuff on the news with people wearing really cool things, making statements. And the theme was like really general. It was called In America. And I thought, wow, that's a really neat type of thing to think about, well, what does that mean when you say like in America? And just started to sort of think like, well, I've never done a self-portrait, and I was waiting for like some kind of reason to do it. Not that this is any amazing reason, but I thought, that has to have some personal meaning to me, that in America. So I tried out this color scheme, and y'all, I just hated it. So this is just in the history of the drawing. So right now here I go, and I'm doing all this monochromatic, really wonderful stuff. And laying in my tones, right? I like to lay in a base color and then put in some tones. I recompose the piece here real quick. And then I'm coming in with some outline. And first I do like a one stroke weight line. And then I start to play with like other things, like line weight and whatnot. And then using white, right? Coming in with the white, the bright colors now is like really, that's a fantastic thing. And I'm able to really give this drawing some depth and dimension. And then I start playing around here. What I was saying to a friend the other day, like one of the greatest classes I ever took, skills I ever learned, was fashion illustration and learning how to like shade clothing and think about clothing and stuff. So I'm going in here and doing the general shading and outline, and I'm putting in these kind of creases and stuff. But I clearly got bored, and I went and started working on the background. And you can see this is my signature background. Well, it's a impressionist Starry Night background. So I do it my way with my own brush. I have my own brush that I use for that. And yeah, it's done now, so you can see. And then I just started adding the highlight up here, which is this moon. So as I was putting this together, I was thinking using this mixture of yellow and blue that gave me this real neutral tone was like laying out all this. So here, I'll jump to the drawing now. We'll look at the layers. So you can see like where I'm missing. And I'm going to put stars there. I'm really excited about laying in some stars in that space in the background. I just turned off the foreground layer. But I like to use this neutral brush because the neutral brush really helps me put yellow on top of blue, which seemingly would be terrible. So gotta be careful, I just touched that. And so let me turn here we go. And we got the background going. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep going on the background. I'm gonna eyedropper that brownish color, right? And this brownish color is what is in between the yellow here. See how it works here? The yellow and the blue, right? Which is their complements. So complementary colors, generally you don't want to like, make those too intense. I mean, this isn't a direct complement, it's a split complement. But so that helps you bridge between cool and hot, right? Is to like use that will blend in between. All right, so I've got that set now. And then I was mentioning before is I have in my little mics thing here, I've brought in brushes that I love in Procreate and that I use all the time. And then I also put in here a couple of customs. So I have here my flow field shader brush, which fills in, and then my flow field brush outline, which gives me a nice, crisp, controlled, dashed outline, kind of like a sewing pattern. So here we got, bam, we'll turn it on, and then we're going to come back here, and let's just check the size real quick, and then let's make sure we're in the correct layer. We're in the background layer. Okay, very good, wonderful. And yeah, and then my opacity is pretty low. Okay, yeah, that looks good. So again, this isn't like here to be so intense so that like we are focusing on it. It's there to support like future yellow strokes. And that's the purpose of using the neutral tone. That's why we switched our brush to do with that, right? And I have full intention then to start using towards this yellow and this white. And that's going to give us like a nice glow effect in the space. Okay, so what I'm also looking at here now is, earlier I was mentioning that I'm going to set up this kind of pattern to take your eye across the piece, like that. And I'm using these stars. I'm going to like just make these a little bit lighter than the moon in here, and then I'll probably put one down here. And that'll create that like glow trail, the hot spots, boom, boom, boom. Oh, hit face, star, hand, you know, all that. It just gives you the full directional line pattern, right? Compositionally to center things. And it like kind of creates this, which I really like. I think that's a nice, fun way to compose. Okay, all right. And then once we do the drawing, I'll show you like what I'm thinking with that, and just what I did compositionally. So I'm going to add now, because I'm painting on the layer behind, you can see I could paint on my face and nothing shows up. But I'm putting now some of this stuff here in the background, because I'm going to put a little tiny star right there. Bip, and that'll be pretty fresh. All right, we'll get one down here by the hand. And let's see, yeah, we'll just do that right there. Sweet. All right, so like I said, I'm not trying to go too heavy on this, just light enough so that it will serve as a good kind of base for what's going on in the moon. Okay, it's like an in-between step. All right, so now I'm going to go here and try to get as close to back to the yellow as before, and then there we go, super bright, and then I'm going to use a low opacity on that brush to bring that out. I don't need this to be so bright, right? This, these are going to be stars in this space here. So yeah, go. That's maybe even like too bright. At this, you see, at this scale and at this zoom, this is, let's see, I don't want that to be too bright. Yeah, it's too bright. Way too bright. Okay. So we'll just back up that to a little bit lower opacity here on this side. There we go. All right. All right. Do it up here. This is fun. And then you get to like literally make the stars here. And then that way I can bring some of that yellow out and I can extend the color somewhat, like the glow somewhat, but it's a little tough, All right. And if you're wondering, I have, if you can even hear it, I've got DJ Dom Whitting, drum and bass on the bike in the background. Really fantastic streaming. Enjoy it. Great mixes, and it's like fun to do something while you listen. And the bike rides, they look intense. They make me want to go ride my bike. So get a chance to check out drum and bass on the bike. That's a recommendation from Mike on that one. That's a really good thing I'm enjoying. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I'm I got to clean up a little bit here. That blue creeps out some, and do the same thing here. But that's all good, right? Like this drawing has loads to do. This, we might even not get this all done in one live here, but let's see. Okay. So now I've set up that composition where we go bam to bam to bam to bam, 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 bam. And that's just on that background layer. But what I'm doing is while I'm making people's eyes zigzag and all that stuff and everything, I'm then saying, oh, boom, focus on these other aspects, right? The face and whatnot. And that allows you to like put your eyes and focus them logically in the background and then focus them in the foreground and then play with that, right? That logic, that space. That works pretty good. All right, cool. So just want to match the intensity here on all these little stars. Sorry for the bump there. Sweet. Yeah, this is nice. This is really something that's coming together. All right, so I'm thinking about kind of like where to go with this next. I've done a lot of highlights and things in various locations. I've got details and stuff to play with in and around the face and whatnot, but I don't want to go too crazy with this because this is like already a pretty cool drawing. Oh, I've got some line work to finish in here. Yeah, all right. And then I did note some cleanup. So because, thank goodness, I have these elements separated, I can now come in here and I can do that kind of cleanup. And let's see, where is that coming from? Yeah, nice. There we go. So a little bit cleanup. Not too bad. And then I'm gonna pick up this, and I'm gonna use this, this Victor brush. I've been really excited about line variants lately, and trying to add emphasis with line variants to things, right? Like weighting down lines that are underneath where things would hang, right? Like you have to like visually give them the weight so that they hang. And yeah, it's been fun to explore. All right, let's see what we have going on here. I gotta be careful. There's some, I've already messed with the lens layer. I don't want to make it look like I've now drawn back on top of it. Yep, and I gotta add some thickness here. Taper it up. Yeah. All right, put the little design that go on Wayfarer glasses. That's the cool thing. Yeah. All right, let's see here. Well, this is not easy. I have to like I have to mentally prepare myself to rock these lines. And they don't always all work out, but like, luckily on the computer you can hit it 2, 3, 4, 15 times. I'm not saying I do, but I do. Yeah. Cool. And that's what I'm doing really mostly, is I'm trying to like lock up these areas of the drawing that are, let me just work this way. Oh, there we go. Hello, there we are. Okay. Oh, sorry. Nope. See, I got no problem doing a line again. It's really, a line is like evidence of, okay, a line tells us a story, and, straight lines can be boring because they don't really have horizons. They don't really have like the landscape that, the one line that we like to really consider in art, right? Everybody does, is the horizon line. Like, where is the horizon? Where's the ground? Right? We all have that sense of gyroscopy, so we know where, if we're upside down, excuse me, and that sort of thing, right? We can feel the blood rush to our brain, and that gyroscopy, that sense. Uh-oh, I'm inverted, can be alarming. So, yeah. Okay, I've got the Victor brush. The Victor brush is great. I mean, it's just so clean, and it gives you good response for thin, thick uses. So, okay. I like in these little areas where, like, all of a sudden now that little shred of line right there, that fill is just, yeah, it's just, oh, too thick. So this painting composition comes from a famous Jewish artist named Felix Nussbaum. Felix Nussbaum was an artist who painted, he's famous for his self-portraits, and he painted a lot during the 30s and 40s, during the Holocaust. And his work's really, like, awesome for its storytelling powers, and really kind of highlighted life during that time for people who were on the run. And it's fantastic to have, who had thought that, like, somebody could take the time and paint during that tumultuous period where, I mean, you don't know what's going to happen next. But he's in this scene. There's one self-portrait that he did where he's still living in the city that he's living in. I gotta check that out again. In the book, the 50 Jewish Artists You Should Know, right? He's in there. There you go. Sweet. That image here, I'll show you that on the thing here. Felix Nussbaum. So here is the portrait of Felix Nussbaum, that 1943, right? Self-portrait with an ID card. Really interesting. So I was thinking about this idea of in America, and just thinking about, like, that is really the card that is what everybody needs now in the United States, seemingly, right? And then also this connection to the star. There's been a lot of controversy about people using the star, misrepresenting the gold star from World War II, right, assigned to Jews as a thing for vaccination. I just really thought that's... So this portrait catalogs a lot of those things. These are things I'm thinking about, thoughts. So with Nussbaum's, I don't have the gold star on. I don't have to wear one, right? But I've put these self-monikered things here. This spray cap's really important. That was given to me for a really important project. And then a Hamsa here, this Hamsa pin. So I've adorned myself with these kinds of things. And I'm going to keep playing with things. I'm going to put a mem here. I'm experimenting with that. Then I got my COVID card, which is that akinness to to Nussbaum's ID card during the war, right? I mean, this thing, you couldn't go anywhere without it. That not that this symbol is a symbol of oppression, but it's a systematic code that keeps keeps folks in groups and divided in many ways, united in others. So anyway, the portrait has some meanings, and as I'm doing it, I'm thinking about all this stuff. I'm as I'm telling it to you, I'm like, oh wow, I got to think about that more. So I don't have a super solid thoughts, but I have intentions here that I want to put forth. And thinking about the self, just we don't look at ourselves. We do brush our hair and teeth and whatever, and get on with the day and just look tidy, but we don't really see ourselves. We're not looking at ourselves and sort of seeing persona and seeing identity and whatnot. Maybe for a minute or two, but it's nice to do a self-portrait. I've never, haven't done one of these in a while. I've never really sat and been so thoughtful with this. It's been more like a chore because it's like I got to draw my own face. So, just thinking about this as like and connecting with the Nussbaum piece is really exciting. So I've been really, really cool. It's been really cool to kind of see what's coming out of this piece. And I get to do my flow fields, and I get to flex on some illustrations. So I'm collaging like two styles here of mine, into one space. All right, so we got a little more definition on that, on the glasses, with what's going on in the space. And I've thought about, bringing textures into the, so taking my flow field stuff now, I just switched to my flow field brush, and let's see. Yes, indeed. I got the foreground, the background, and let's see. Am I done on? All right. So I'm working at 300 pixels per inch. Here, I'll open this up, let you see. Canvas, crop and resize, settings. Okay, you can see, even though it's sideways, that we are rocking at 24 by 18, 300 pixels per inch, dots per inch, right? So for print purposes, we want this to be as big as possible, okay? And I'm going to get this thing on a canvas. And it'll be really nice quality. So anyway, this is now restricting me to just having only 2 layers, and that is kind of a bummer. So what we want to do is be really planful and thoughtful with how we're going to paint in this space. So if I'm going to start to do something here, I got to like commit to it, right? So I got to, in here, I can't really erase and stuff. Like if I'm working with multiple layers, I'm probably going to do some erasing or masking and whatnot. So with this, I got to do a classic cut back. So cutting back is like what I'm looking here to do. Okay, good. So I'm bringing that to be brighter, and then now watch what I'm going to do in here is, that's way too big, way too big. Okay, so let's make this this brush smaller. All right, I'm done with doing flow field stuff in the back. And let's see here, maybe I could, oh yeah, that's the money. All right, so in that little area there now, I'm taking this same effect, and I'm gonna like almost paint like a little mini Starry Night just even inside of here. I mean, that's the way that's why this technique, I love it so much, because like now look, like this whole flat area, it can become a flow field, and I can have it connect with or resist the flow fields that are around it. And I think like that's amazing. All right, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna just play with the physics. There was some texture inside this hat, but to be honest with you, it was a little bit like, I was going to do the realistic, naturalistic look so you could have it be like as accurate to what was there. It was really boring. Like, I got to tell you, I'm so sorry, but that was like really boring. And I thought, man, how could I take something to the next level? Not like, how could I make 1,000 dots for myself to do? Because that's not productive, but how could I challenge myself here to like make every inch of this painting like its own little adventure of space. So here I've now put in this area, and guess what? You guessed it. I'm gonna do the same thing on the hair, okay, with another tone, an off tone, an off value, really, not necessarily a change in color, but just giving that impression that there's a value change. And look, I'm keeping it all the same kind of light. That's the beauty of like using a tint or a low opacity brush here, is that like I can spread this stuff out, and it's like good to go. And if I touch an area twice, like I go over it again, it'll give me some overlaps. And that's just sort of natural niceness. It gives this whole area richness. I love that. I don't know if y'all see now, but like I just brought that under brim like to life. So there, right? You can see that like that's might be low contrast here on the iPad. Let's see, I'll get the phone working. Cool. All right, you can see there that that's the money. That's the money right there. So I'm gonna keep that going, right? That's really where I want to be. I want to be focusing on. I'm gonna use that over here as well. Is can I? Here, let's do something crazy. Yeah. Okay. Fun. All right. Like I said, I'm just gonna keep all of this as like flow field as possible. That's gonna be really fantastic. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Thanks for tuning in. Give that subscribe button a smash if you wanna hear more art tips, working in Procreate. I'm here. I'm ready to show y'all how things are done. And yeah, this is a wonderful tool. I've been using this now just for under a year, and I am a weekend warrior in Procreate because some people use it exclusively. I still use Photoshop. I still use Illustrator as a graphic designer, and that is like really important to me. But it's really cool to have like a challenging, what do you even call it? Like a competitor to what's going on with Adobe. Adobe's been the de facto for forever, as long as I can remember. And I've been doing this over 20 years now, just over it, 21. And boy, oh boy, oh, this is pretty awesome. I gotta say, I really enjoy using this software. Okay, let's, because it's quick. It kind of gets to the point, and it's not mired with like the thing that like always bogged down Adobe, but also made it great was that you could do one task 15 ways, and if you ask 15 people, you're going to get 15 descriptions. So it's yeah, it's always been. Let's see, is this giving me what I need? No, it is not. Okay, we got to go now to we got to get a darker value. There we go. All right, we got to like push this because the brush is pretty light. So here, yeah, we're going to put a little roundabout there. Put another one right here. That might be too light. I think that might be too light. Yeah. I'm so sorry, folks. I keep bumping y'all in the face. It's like, welcome to my life. Here. Kick in the teeth. All right, so if you're with us right now, y'all, we are running live on this self-portrait here, and I'm doing it, a la prima, like the great master Bob Ross. And I'm rocking my style. This is Mike Worth style, flow fields, right? This tonal illustration. This is, what I'm doing, what I'm trying to master and really tell stories with. When I think about like why I work with certain stuff or why I want things to look the way they are, and I think I really want them to tell stories. I like the dramatic nature of this aesthetic. I like how mesmerizing things are. I mean, it just like it instantly gives ordinary objects like very very complex, almost spiritual type of status or existence. It's dope. So yeah, that's why I do what I do. And this is just me. This is not anything special. You know, I'm just Mike, just a person. Um, but this has been a great exercise because it's really let me start to see now how I can. That's way too dark. We're going to go back to that original lightness. There we go, like we had before. Sweet. Okay. There we are on the original lightness. I'm bringing this flow field now into the mix here. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, friends, we're going to call this a successful test. Y'all, we're going to keep working on this. All right. Mike Worth Art here, and thank you guys for this first wonderful live. Peace out.